I'm Kate, this is my channel, and this is my reading wrap up for June 2017. Over June I read 9 things, which includes 2 graphic novels, 2 works of non-fiction and 1 short story collection. I also DNF'd 2 things, so we'll start with those 2 things and we'll see if I can get through this quick. Okay, so the first thing I DNF'd was See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. This was my book club book for June. It's about Lizzie Borden and whether or not she committed the axe murders for which I think she was acquitted. I only read about 100 pages, 140 pages of this book. Didn't like it. It was just full of misery, miserable people, and I didn't need that in my life, so I gave up. I still went to the book club and I had my opinion. I wasn't the only one who hated it, and I wasn't the only one who didn't finish it, so that says something. The second thing I DNF'd was Ravine by Stefan Sezik and Ron Mars. I read maybe a third of this. I was really excited for it. In the prologue, a woman was fridged, and then it got very ye olde medievally with dragons and info dumpy and all the worst things about epic fantasy. The art was really nice, but it wasn't enough to sustain my interest, so I DNF'd it, unfortunately. Okay, let's move on to the good stuff. I will start with the 2 graphic novels that I did in fact finish. So I read Fables Volume 2 Animal Farm, which was a bit of a, I guess, political thriller, political revolution amongst fairy tale characters that have been exiled to the regular world. I quite liked it. I think I will read at least the 3rd in this series, and I will decide from there whether or not I'm going to keep going. Nothing is standing out as a red flag, but there are a lot of them that I don't know if I really want to spend my money on this. But I did enjoy it. The next graphic novel that I read was Descender by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. I've seen a lot of love for this on BookTube and on Instagram, so I decided to have a go. The art is just stunning. The story was kind of cute. I feel like it's a little bit familiar, but at the same time, it piqued my interest. So I will continue to read this. It was really cute, so I liked that. Okay, my 2 works of non-fiction this month were Gossip from the Forest by Sarah Maitland. I've talked about this a little bit in some Friday reads, but it's essentially Sarah Maitland's journey through forests in England and her explorations of them and their role in English history, English culture, and particularly in English fairy tales, and how fairy tales also impact on us and on our understanding of forests. I don't know how relevant it was for me because I'm not English. I like fairy tales, but I'm not English. I don't have forests. I have bushland, and it's bushland. The Aussie bush is very different, and the Aussie outback is very different from English forests. But it was really interesting. I especially liked at the end of each chapter, which each chapter was about a particular forest, and at the end of each chapter she rewrote a fairy tale in relation to that forest, and those rewritings were often very entertaining, and I really did like them. I did also really like the nature writing here, but there was a lot of it, and as I said before, I don't know what a beech tree looks like, so raphidocising, can't say that word, endlessly about beech trees doesn't really do it for me because I don't know what it is. Okay, the next non-fiction book that I read was The Grand Conversation by L. Timothy Champ. This is put out by Aqueduct Press. It's a collection, 3 or 4 essays about the conversation of feminism in the science fiction fan community. I bought this at Continuum, my first convention, which was held in Melbourne, which was really exciting. I read this mostly on the plane on the way back and the first day after I got back. It was interesting. I really liked it. I think these essays are perhaps a little bit old. I think some of the things that she was talking about have moved on since she wrote them. And they haven't really stuck with me. I enjoyed them while I was reading them, but they haven't really stuck with me, so I can't really remember what they were about. But I'm glad I've got it, and I picked up a couple of other these little tiny Aqueduct Press books at the convention, so I'll look forward to reading those. Okay, so we're up to the novels. So I read 4 novels, which includes the sixth Sean Maguire book in the Encrypted series. This one is about the younger sister, Annie, and how she infiltrates the bad guys, basically, set in a carnival. I did like it. It took a much darker turn than the previous novels in the Encrypted series, but it was good. Lovely continuation of the series. As always, the Encrypted series is just delightful. All the characters are great. I really liked Annie's perspective on her older sister Verity, who was the main character for I think 3 of the previous books, and she was the hero of those books, and Annie hates her guts and thinks she's a selfish bitch. So that was a really interesting take on a familiar character who I really liked, and to see her through somebody else's eyes was exciting. And the ending of this book was quite depressing, and I can't wait to see how it's gonna be fixed, and I really hope it's fixed because Annie was delightful. So I've got, the next book I read was The Stars Are Legion by Cameron Hurley. I did a review on this, so if you want to have a look at that, check it out through my channel. Long story short, it was confronting, it was brutal, it was full of body horror. I liked it, but I think it didn't stay with me as much as I thought it was going to. The experience of reading it was awful, but having read it, I'm really glad that I did because I think it's an important book. I also did a review for We Who Are About To by Joanna Russ, this short little novel. And again, I really liked it. I think it's a really important book, but I hated like the last 50 pages or so. Took a turn, didn't really like it. Really, really, really liked the first part. Full review also, you can have a look at that. I finished this one yesterday. This is The Sudden Appearance of Hope by Claire North. I have filmed a review for this and it will go up sometime in the next week. But to summarise, it was a brilliant character study. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and it was a revelation to me as a person. I consider my own identity, and it was a revelation to me as a wannabe writer how to create a book built on a character's voice. It was great, loved it, highly recommended. Oh my god, I'm snapping through these. So the last thing I read, I finished this morning, and that is The Best Science Fiction and Fantasy of the Year, Volume 11, edited by Jonathan Strahan. This was all these science fiction fantasy short stories. Some of them were really, really, really good. I think I only skipped over about two or three. A couple of them were familiar. I think I'd read them before. Which ones did I particularly like? I can't quite remember because there were so many of them. I loved the story by Theodora Goss, by N.K. Jemisin, by Nina Allen, Amal El-Matar, and Seth Dickinson. Those were my favourites. So look them up. I think some of them have won awards. Can't quite remember which ones, but there you go. So that is my June wrap up. I'm really impressed with myself that I managed to get through that so quickly. So yeah, these are all the books. That's quite an impressive stack of books. I'm missing one. I'm missing Animal Farm. Let's put that back in the pile, shall we? Oh, those are all the books that I read in June. So, and I guess I also want to say that I went to continue on my first con, and that was really great, and I met some awesome people, and I got to see some really interesting panels, and I bought a lot of books. So they will feature in my upcoming videos, I assume. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And I will speak to you later.